Alright, this is my racing career, part dos. Last time I left off right at the end of 2008. Let's see, I'd won the Torn 125 Amateur Championship, and then the weekend after, I broke my tib fib, foot, and 2 toes at River Valley. It's the first time riding my new 2009 200XC on a moto track anyway. Yeah, I broke my leg and had to have surgery and didn't know because it was December. It was like 2 weeks or a week before Christmas, and which that made for an awesome Christmas, by the way. Anyway, had surgery, didn't know if I was going to make the start of the next season, the 2009 season. And 2009 was the first year that Torn and TCCRA started going kind of head-to-head and having races on the same weekends and such. And we decided to race Torn. I raced the 125 intermediate and barely made it for the first race. We had actually got staples out of my leg from getting the plate and 6 screws removed, and that was on like a Tuesday, and I went to I think it was actually Wednesday, got the staples removed and went straight to a trophy club to ride, just to see if I could ride so I could make the race that weekend. And I made the race and finished 7th, just riding around and just to get points, even though there was a drop. But finished 7th, and then the whole point of making that race was to get points, not to win or anything, but in case I had to use the drop some other time. So, and remember that because it comes into play later. But the series went on. I got 2nd at the next race, and then I'd come from way behind, and then I caught Sam Gaines, who's my best racing friend, and we've always been really close in speed and just always been battling back and forth for wins all the time. Until lately, we haven't raced each other in a while, but anyway, I caught him from behind at the 2nd race, and he took off and left me. And then next race, I don't know where it was, but I think it was Village Creek, but maybe it wasn't. I caught, actually no, whenever Village Creek was, I whole shot that race, and he was behind me, and it was just neck and neck the whole time. Our average lap times were the same, and every single one of our lap times was within a second of each other. I'd go a second faster, and he'd go a second faster. But I was in the lead for the whole race, and he was so pissed after the race. Just like, yeah, but anyway, that really started to get my confidence going, and I won the next 2, so I won 3 in a row, and I don't think I had the points lead yet. I think Sam still had it, but I'm not really sure. It was close either way, I don't really remember, but I think I actually had the points lead by like 2 points. It was really close. But anyway, I won Freestone, which is the last race going into the summer break. That was another come from behind. I only won because Sam got a flat, I think. Something happened. I think he got a flat, yeah. He's never had good luck at Freestone. He broke his collarbone the next year there. But anyway, I think he got a flat, and I won the race, and I felt like I couldn't really do anything wrong, because even though I was in 2nd, like 30 seconds behind, he got a flat, and I ended up winning anyway. And then I was just so confident. I went to Arkansas that summer with Sam, to their cabin, and stayed with them for a week, and then we went to Missouri. He came with us, and yeah, we were just really good buds and rode together a lot. And he was faster than me in Missouri. We went to a motor track and he was quite a bit faster than me. But I was still confident. I was like, oh, whatever, in a race I can still beat him. But anyway, like a month later, it was 5 weeks before the next torn race. We went out to Devin McMenamin's property and just to ride, because he has a really cool place to ride. And I was just riding and went through this little sand loop kind of section, real not big loops, but just small. And I just got squirrely somehow and just went down right on my shoulder, and I broke it. I broke my arm way up here, and we thought it was just a dislocated shoulder, which would have been a lot better, because 5 weeks would have been good enough time to heal a dislocated shoulder before the next torn race. And anyway, it was broken, and we didn't know what was wrong. We thought it was just dislocated, but we went to the emergency room and they did x-rays, and it was definitely broken. And my orthopedic surgeon, Dr. Khan, who'd done my ankle before, got the x-rays and it looked okay, and he said we'd wait for surgery and whatever. But then 3 days later, my shoulder had come completely out. The socket had just come completely out. My shoulder was down to like here, and it was terrible. And he had to do surgery and move the ball back into place, and then put 3 pins back in, or put 3 pins in to hold my shoulder in place, and the pins are sticking out, and I had to live with that for 5 weeks. And it should have been a lot longer, but I told him I had to race. And this makes me just wonder what I was thinking, just looking back on it. Because the whole point of racing that first race after breaking my ankle was to get points in case I had to use the drop again. And like I said, the race was 5 weeks for breaking my arm. And, you know, if I would have missed that race, I would have had 8 weeks, I think, maybe 9, to recover. And that would have been pretty good time. Like my shoulder would have been pretty stable by then. But no, I decided that I was going to race with only 5 weeks on a fully broken arm/shoulder. And that was the stupidest idea that I've ever had. And I still kick myself to this day, because what happened still bothers me on a physical level, not just a mental level. Anyway, the next race was at Brian Story's farm, and in practice, well, first of all, we got the pins taken out the Tuesday before the race, I think, and I should have known, because the whole week I was just babying my shoulder and holding it up like it was still in a sling. You know, I wasn't even close to being ready to race, and I tried to ride. I had a shoulder brace on and everything, but my second lap of practice, I high-sided going down a 30 or 40 mile per hour straightaway and snapped my shoulder again. And that was one of the lowest points of my whole life. My whole mental outlook just went straight down the drain, and I was really, really close to just saying screw it, forgetting about racing, because I was like, how can I be that stupid to try to race? If I would have waited and just not done that race, that would have been my drop, and I could have won the championship so easily if I would have come back and gotten second at that race, because me and Sam were like a step above the rest of the people, and so I figured, he could win, I could get second, and then I'd have another month, and then by then it'd be 12 weeks, and then I should be completely fine by then, and I could maybe win by then. But I was just cocky, and I'm so bummed out about that, and that's changed my life completely. That one incident. But anyway, Dr. Khan decided not to do surgery again because there was too much trauma, and he felt it'd do more harm than good, reopening the wounds and all that. So he let the shoulder heal, and the ball was not in the right place. But he said, like I said, he thought it was, good enough to where the point where if he operated on it, it would just be worse than what it was already, as far as trauma goes. So he chose not to operate on it, and it healed up. And I was out for 3 months at that point. And so I missed the whole rest of the season. I made the last race, but it didn't matter. But yeah, it was a little more than 3 months. It was like 14 weeks. It was like 3.5 months. Which, it isn't that bad, except for the fact that, it almost turned into a 6-month injury because I'd already had, 5 or 6 weeks before, and then broke it again. And anyway, the last race of the season that I came back and did, I knew I'd lost so much speed. I think it was just all mental. I was not riding worth a crap. And, I told myself, just give it time. You're off for 5 months, 6 months, whatever it was. Just give it time and whatnot, and you'll get back to where you were. And it didn't come. It didn't come. I just was so mentally destroyed. And starting 2010, I had to move up to light expert, or 125 expert, and I hadn't, like I said, I'd gotten slower than when I was in intermediate, so that didn't work. And I had to race 125 expert. I didn't have a choice. So I started off, I got third at the first race because Sam and Landon Landry, who's been, the past couple of years, me and Landon have been neck and neck, but he's always come out on top. But anyway, first race thing I got third, and then I just kept getting worse. And eventually it was just me and Landon were the only ones racing. And it was like 4 races in, we went to Cash, and I had been just the worst. The darkest point was Beaumont Ranch in 2010. I had the worst race maybe that I've ever had, just mentally. I started in second. Ryan McKinney was the guy at that point. He was winning all the races, but he ended up dropping out of the series. I don't know why, but anyway, I started second behind Ryan McKinney, and I was like, okay, I can, try to keep up with this guy. Maybe I'll be able to break through my mental barrier or whatnot. And everybody passed me, and I was 10 minutes behind them at the finish. 10 minutes. I mean, I didn't know what was going on. I was so sad after the race. I thought I was done. Like, I was really close to saying, oh man, I just should have quit when I broke my arm. This isn't fun. I wasn't having any fun at all. And the next race was Cash. I think that was the next race. But something clicked in between these races, and I just got tired of it and just figured it out. I don't know what the discovery was, but I just something in my brain just clicked, and I was like, okay, I gotta figure this out, because motorcycle is all I have, and you know, like, I don't have friends outside of motorcycles. I don't have a life outside of motorcycles, and that's when I realized I've got to figure this out, because this is all I have. And I guess that was the thing that just made me figure it out, and I did. And at Cash, I led half the race in front of Ryan McKinney, who no one had even come close to at that point, I don't think. Well, he crashed, actually, but I think I was catching him. I was in second. Like, for the first 2 or 3 laps, I was in second place, and he kept looking back after the scoring chute, because he could see who was coming into the scoring chute. He kept looking back, and I'd get closer and closer every lap, like a second closer, and he finally ate crap on some single in the field, and I was in the lead at that point. I got a little tired, because like I said, I wasn't mentally into it. I'd never pushed it that hard in the past year for 80 minutes. So I got kind of tired, and Landry passed me in the last lap, I think, and I finished second. But anyway, that was the breakthrough moment for me. It was like, okay, I figured this out. Now it's time to win. And I started working out really hard and training, and I got a rowing machine. That thing's been a big help ever since I got a Concept 2 rowing machine. And I was beating myself into the ground trying to beat Landon, because the guy's he's just a machine. He's never really just blazing fast, I wouldn't say. Not really a dig at him, but there's been a couple times where he's been really, really fast on weekends, but he just puts consistent laps together, just never really makes mistakes. And that was just so frustrating, because I could sprint at the beginning and then level out and then go fast at the end, but he was just fast the whole way through. He was never just a super good sprinter, and he was like a locomotive, just kept chugging along. And just the rest of the series was just total. I never won. He beat me every single time, and that didn't help my confidence either, because I was training super hard. And Edgewood was the worst, because I led the whole race, and then the last lap, literally like 3 turns from the finish. I've led this whole 80-minute race. It's going to be my first win since I broke my arm. It's been a year and a half. I'm ready to win this race. And I fell 3 turns before the finish, and he passed me. I was so angry at myself. Just threw it away. I took a line that I'd never taken the whole weekend and fell. It's just total idiotic moment. And he won. And like I said, I didn't win a race